A massive round 17 of VFL action, and we were at Highgate Recreation Reserve for the big clash between Essendon and Williamstown. And Gary Ayres, Essendon a must-win game for them, but Williamstown have been in excellent form, and right from the very start they were able to get on top.
They very much were, Pete. It was dominated by the way Williamstown played right across the ground. Very professional. They exposed Essendon in an effective skill game, and guys like Willie Wheeler really stepped up. They had so many winners through the middle, and their defence was really good to keep the Essendon Football Club to only 8 goals for the game. So, wonderful effort for 4 quarters.
As we always say, it's one out of the midfield. Obviously, Nick Meese getting first touch to the ball, playing in Sam Tagliabue, who went off injured, but they were able to get that run through the middle of the ground, really set it up. It was an open forward structure. They weren't always going to Scott Clouston. They had over 13 goal kickers for the game, and they're really able to stamp their authority, and they've got so much flexibility in their side.
Most definitely, and Andy Collins would be very happy with the way they actually performed as a team. And Clouston, as you said, was just able to dominate that centre-half forward position. Casley was very strong if the ball happened to enter a little bit deeper. Meese, as you said, gave it an armchair ride, and really Fawkes in defence, Fay in defence. They just had so many winners right across the ground, and they were still competing really hard late in the match, and really with their winning midfield they just completely dominated the whole game.
In the second half, the Bombers early on put up a bit of a fight. They were a lot more aggressive to the footy. They had that run through the middle of the ground, but really they were struggling to get it out of defensive 50, and they get it to the 50-metre line and then struggle with that next kick. They really weren't clean today.
No, they weren't, and Hayden Skipworth even touched on that too, that their efficiency and skill level was down today, and that was probably the pressure that Williamstown exposed on them. And certainly once they got it forward, there wasn't a lot of winners at the end of the day. Conversely, Williamstown, whether it was their forward stoppages, whether it was their entries deep, whether it was their hit-up type, whether it was their work rate to lock the ball in, they just really outclassed Essendon today. And Leroy Jetta, I thought, was one of the few Essendon players that could really hold his head high up with a good 4-quarter performance, and he showed a touch of class at times.
Plenty out of the Williamstown midfield, racking up 30-plus possessions. Mitch Banner, one of the best on the ground as well, and it was a convincing win by 71 points. They look imposing at the moment, Gary.
They're in pretty good form, Pete, and the statistics will say that they dominated the game, even though the inside 50s were only 11, but still that's a lot when you look at it at the end of the day. Their hit-outs, 44-30, was pretty dominant there, and obviously 225 kicks, 147 handballs.
In the end, a 71-point win to Williamstown over Essendon.